how do you think? Yeah, well, to me it's kind of obvious, but how do you think the lack of good skiing has shaped you and the bunch just skiing?
Yeah, no, I remember early on noticing, just coming from Umeå, then like going up to Åre for hitting like the big jumps and stuff before I went to gymnasium in Kiruna.
Yeah.
Just coming here, I just remember like every time we were here, we were so hungry and so motivated to just get after it so hard. And I remember noticing like with the other kids that were from here, they were like, they took it for granted. They live in this park, so they have it every day. It doesn't like matter too much for them. And then obviously having really shitty conditions in Kiruna as well, we had to do it completely on our own. It created a whole different mentality of having to make it on our own, basically, if we wanted it to happen. Like we had to shape our own jumps and like always been that kind of mentality. And then obviously moving more in towards street as well, then you really like had a really good early on sort of way of having to work for it, and that was super good for the beginning of like the career. Gets you a completely different mindset. Instead of just having it all served on the table, then maybe you get bored or something, or you don't get that early on mentality that you need in order, if you want to become a professional skier or something, or you want to like make successful ski films. You can't sit on the couch and hope that or you gotta bring your shovel and start shoveling, because the jump is not gonna shovel itself.
Yeah, I can imagine that's like perhaps the best way to grow up. If you want to become a video skier, with a mixture of park and jump and free skiing, all the stuff you do. Can't imagine though, if we imagine someone like Andrei Ragetli, he grew up in Lark, similar like growing up in Åre, perfect park for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, it can spoil you that you always have that, so you're not going to shovel yourself. But someone like him, he's showed that with when you don't have to focus on building your own jumps or making your own ski edit, you can just double down on becoming awesome at what you do. So it's it shapes you, just like the skis are shaping your style a little bit. Also, the conditions you grow up with shape how you engage with skiing. Since I grew up with the exact same conditions, kind of, but twice as big mountains, 100 meters each.
Yeah, and what is it, like an hour and a half north of Umeå or something?
Yeah, we're in neighboring cities basically. So I would often go down to Umeå to slide rails, because it's a bigger city, more urban rails. They got some really nice ones, like a Sea King, 2 Kink, and you got some really nice 4 Kinks and 5. And it's good there. Yeah. I like it a lot. And it was the same thing for me and my friends, that we had to shovel and make our own jumps to learn our first flips. And also me and my mates, we didn't become such a big ski crew like you guys, but North Extreme Team we called ourselves. We did all right back then.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you guys as super talents and like this crazy older crew that was like pushing it from my area. And it's funny, we were actually talking about I went to one of you guys' competitions, and you guys also had made those things happen. Like you arranged those competitions and brought skiers around and helped build the culture and stuff. And that's what you need in those areas. Like there isn't a culture, there isn't like there wasn't, and there still barely is, but there's some people that help and could contribute to like creating a skiing culture. But you guys did that, and that's really important. Like even today, if you like skiing, and also like that's something I've been trying to do lately more too, is just trying to contribute to the culture, because you need people.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you for joining our freestyle ski competition.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You were too young for me to remember you.
Yeah,
then.
I mean, I was like just
12 maybe.
Yeah, just looking at everybody doing like 540s freaking on the big jump, and I was just like, oh my god. Like,
I think we did cool tricks than that too.
And like you were doing
Cork 9s and things that day, I think.
yeah, I mean, and that to me was insane to see. Like I remember like those, I've had like these crazy experience when I was like kid, and just seeing someone do like a cork 9, it could like, it just hit me in my heart, and I was like, it created such a want to do something like that. And even early on I like saw someone jump on a bike. I was like 5 years old in Australia, and I saw someone just do a huge jump on a bike, and it like, it got printed in my head, and I was like, I'm doing that. It was such a strong urge to go towards like jumping and stuff like that, and those like just getting to be at that competition and seeing the level and stuff, and seeing all these cool kids, it was like huge. I think that's really like, you know, that probably helped me a lot to move where I was. Like if I didn't go to that competition, there's all those little puzzle pieces, and why it's important to build the culture as well, because like if you give some people something to go to, and some like a substance, then yeah, that was like substance for me. I was like, wow, this is, yeah,
it was a cool
helped me
competition
in my skiing career.
Yeah, so if you get, anyone is watching this and you're sitting in a town with barely no good skiing around, maybe it's flat but you get snow, do it yourself, guys. You'll be surprised on how it might change you to do other things in life. I think for me, a large part of the reason why I'm running Stomp It, I can live of it, and why you're running or being a part of the bunch and running 1,000 skis, can live of it, professional skier as well, is that we grew up with shitty conditions, and it shaped us to do it ourselves, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
It's a beautiful thing to not have everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, working for something is great, and yeah.
Yeah, and you said you want to contribute to skiing. I wish you guys existed before me and my crew. Because when I was riding airbends and dropping roofs and things, got decent at it, but I was always like just sliding rails, maybe doing a switch up or a 270 on or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a bit limiting. It's first, as far as I'm concerned, when you guys arrived a little bit to the scene, where you started making everything in a city into a feature.
Yeah.
It can just be a little, like this table here, bounce on it, do some butter thing, and then off. There's nothing around it. You don't even need any speed.
Yeah.
So thank you for this contribution, and especially for people growing up today. The city is even more a playground than it was when I started skiing, thanks to inspirational content of the bunch and others as well.
Yeah.
So that's really sick.
Thank you.
So you're here, you're going to this upper secondary high school called Gymnasium in Swedish. You're there with this sick bunch of skiers calling themselves The Bunch. And you're all driven to ski, and you're also maybe driven to do other things, clearly.
Yes.
Yeah, and you guys stuck it together for 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I guess we started the gymnasium in 2009, so I guess now, what does that mean? Is it 13 years then?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, yep.
And you made many cool edits. Obviously, a link in the description if you want to watch their latest videos.